Welcome everybody to our Noble Team Coach Call. I'm really excited today. So today what we want to do is, the event itself is, I don't even remember what I called it. It was our, who are you and what are your problems? So really we want to start having our team calls every 2 weeks. We're going to switch them out right now. 1 week we'll be joining Team Engage because they have a lot of top coaches in the company coming to their calls. So I highly suggest that you guys get to those calls. And then every other week when we don't have the Team Engage call, we're going to do the Noble Team call. So make sure that I would say make sure you get to our call, but I highly encourage you to get to Team Engage because they're good too. So but with that being said, I think it's really important that we get to know each other, because as our team grows, we start missing out on who people are and where we're from, our background, because that's really where the diversity of Beachbody comes in. Because, I lost 50 pounds of weight, and that's my story. But everyone has a different story. Mike had his story that hopefully he'll take 5 minutes. And again, sharing these stories with each other will allow us to practice. So when someone comes up to us and they say, okay, I've seen your Facebook or your Instagram, what's this Beachbody thing you're doing? You'll be able to come out with confidence about your story and really be able to share it. So, and listening to other people, it can trigger things in your story that you might have forgotten, things to help you carry on. So with that being said, I would love to hear everyone a little, maybe 3 to 5 minute story from everybody, and we're going to get to that so you have a little bit of time to think about it. So no pressure, right? The other thing that I wanted to talk about tonight is what we're going to be talking about in future calls, because being a coach can push you out of your comfort zone, which is what we want. But we want to hear what other people are having trouble with, where they feel like they need help and support as they go forward, sharing their coaching story, whether it be how do I talk to people, how do I share on Facebook, what are some ideas, because we all have different struggles, and some of us have been doing it longer than others, and that's where these team calls are great. And always feel like you guys can reach out to us and just ask questions. We don't have all the answers, but I can talk BS or actually ask someone that does know. So with that being said, I would like to hear. We have a few topics that we talked about in our leadership, the Noble Team Leadership group. But I would love to hear after people watch this and tonight of any ideas that you may be struggling with, where you're having a hard time, because those struggles are what's going to strengthen us, because if we identify them, we can identify things to try to really start improving ourselves. So with that being said, some of the things that we want to talk about, one is I would like to have one person each meeting, 1 or 2 people, share their 5-minute story. So we're going to share tonight, us 4. But as people get on, we're going to assign people and really hold them accountable, make sure that they come to the meeting, first of all, but that they can share their story, and really we can get to know each other. Because as we get to know each other and what our goals are, that helps me understand what I can do to help you, what you're doing, how it's helping me, and together we can really make changes and really hit our goals. So some of the things. So getting to know each other. I think we just covered that. How to plan out our month for success. Really important one. Team Engage has done a really good job with that one. I think if we get on the same page, that would be really good. Talking about getting the Success Club points, focusing on that, when to focus on things. That way we can do things together. perfecting our invitation process. So the conversation, we're going to be doing that, I think, on a basis of sharing each other's stories, but also just, what are some of the challenges we're having when we're talking to people? What do we say when there's money issues? What do we say when they say, I don't have time? Those type of things are really challenging, especially when you first get started. So, and then free challenge groups. We've done this one in the past. I think that's one that didn't get recorded. Or I don't remember, but and so that definitely is something. And then Super Saturdays, I think we need to talk about those also. With that being said, I would like to go around and just have people share their story, share a challenge that you're having, and then if you have any ideas that we can add to future meetings, we can do that. So those 3 things. Are you guys feel comfortable? Well, that's not any good. Mike's all comfortable. There he is. There he is. You should have been hearing the things Morgan was saying. Oh my goodness.
That guy.
Yeah, I hear rumors here and there from other friends that she doesn't get along.
Oh, I was going to say they were all good. But now I want to know the rumors.
Well, I mean, good rumors as well,
So, I will go ahead and start. That way, I'm not just talking. I'm walking the walk, I guess you can say. So, and I like to do the approach of, if someone came up to me and said, okay, what is this Beachbody thing that you're doing? In fact, I have a lunch tomorrow with an old high school friend. So really, Beachbody to me means the community, and it means a system that allows me to really help myself and help others. I'm a Beachbody coach, and I can tell you, from being at a point where I felt depressed, I felt sad because I was 50 pounds overweight. I was at a point where I didn't understand how my wife could love me. And I knew that the example that I was setting for my kids at the time, they were 14 and 10, such impressionable ages, that I knew I wasn't setting that example for them to have a healthy future. When I started, I was actually going to a local community center, and I started losing weight at first, and then I plateaued for 6 months. And I didn't lose 1 pound of weight for that 6 months. And I figured, that's it. I'm 35, and I'm supposed to be, according to the Heart and Lung Association, I'm supposed to be 35 pounds overweight, and that's where I'm going to be. Until my 35th birthday, when my wife asked, what do you want for your birthday? And I told her I was too young for a sports car. And I really was able to get in, and I started looking through Men's Health magazine because I still wanted to be healthy, and I knew I wasn't. But I found an article with Tony Horton, and I still have the magazine up in my bookcase because it's a treasured item. It'll probably be handed down to grandkids. And this is Grandpa's transformation story. But I found an article with Tony Horton, and I was like, that's that infomercial guy. That stuff's crazy. But I decided to look it up online, and I reviewed it, and there were great reviews. And I told my wife, I said, I don't know what else to get for my birthday. It's an infomercial. It's probably not going to work, but I'm going to give it a try. And almost 5 years later now, I can tell you I have an amazing group of people that I have met. Beachbody and these team members have changed my life, and I wouldn't trade it for anything. because it has changed me emotionally, physically, spiritually, mentally. And I know that my focus can help anybody change their lives. So I don't know if that was 5 minutes, but that's kind of my story. So hopefully that was okay. It better be, because that's what I'm saying tomorrow. So and Mike's probably going, I've heard that I don't know how many times. Maybe not the grandpa part, but
no, that was good. I like
I've
that
got to
part.
throw that in when my daughter is 18 years old and she keeps bringing friends home that are boys from college, and they're 22, 23. It's like, it's not good. Not good. I will say that for me, what I think the things that I shared as far as future meetings, I think those are really ones that I would like to see. But really, the getting to know people and getting to know their goals is my main focus that I would like to see. And Super Saturday. Can't say enough about getting to Super Saturday. Troubles that I'm having, just staying consistent, staying on top of everything. When you start talking to 30 people a day, it's a whole new level. So that's where I'm going, is keeping track of those people. So who's next?
I'll go. Okay, so I'm Mike Lamb. For those of you that are going to watch this later and you don't know who I am, I'm the other co-founder of this amazing team that we have here. I got my start. I was one of those guys who I had a friend burn me a copy of P90X. Shh, don't tell Tony and don't tell Carl. And it was one of those things where I did chest and tries, and I felt, great. I'm flexing in the mirror and all that stuff. And then I did plyo the next day, and then I stopped. And I did that about 4 times in a row. I'd never done plyo before. I'm a police officer by trade, and I was a Marine before that. So my physical fitness was more of a requirement than a, something that I enjoyed doing. I did it because I had to do, kind of thing. And so, yeah, I was the guy that started and stopped P90X multiple times. Flash forward to 2010, I'm married, and my lovely wife Amber and I had our first child, Madison, who's 5 now. And I like to tell people that I was the happiest I'd ever been, and you could see it in my double chin. And what that means is basically, through Amber's pregnancy, we had a McDonald's that was literally 3 minutes from our house, and I worked the evening shift. So she would be up when I got home about midnight, and she would text me. Don't text and drive, but she would text me, and she'd be like, "Hey, stop at McDonald's and get me this, 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 and this." And this was happening multiple times a week. So whatever she was getting, I was like, "Oh, that sounds good. I'll get that too." So I'd be coming home with, a couple of value meals, supersized or whatever, and we'd sit down on the couch and eat our junk food and watch Spartacus together, and then we'd go to bed. And so the pounds just started, creeping on. Well, next thing I know, Madison, and this carried on, once we had our daughter, it just, one of those things, first time parents, don't feel like cooking, don't feel like exercising, you're up and down with the baby, things like that. I'm sure a lot of you can relate to that. She and I traded off and on, who stayed home with the baby for her first, few weeks. And so it was just one of those things, just adjusting to life with a new child, and fitness and proper nutrition were the last thing on our minds, really. So I realized at one point that my uniform, when I went back to work, my uniform was like super tight. I was getting winded going up and down a set of stairs. And as a police officer, that's bad news, because if I got into an altercation or something and, I couldn't hold my own, I was just afraid of what could happen. I certainly didn't want to leave, her and our brand new baby, because I didn't take care of myself. Also, another big part of my why was that my mother passed away when she was 49 of cancer. So there was no physical fitness there for her. I feel like she probably stood more of a chance of fighting it off if she had, a setup. She was a lifetime smoker and things like that. So between having a daughter and having the family history of cancer and things like that, it pretty much, kind of kicked my butt into high gear. Amber and I both decided that we were going to push play together, hold each other accountable to do a full round of P90X. And that's what we did the summer of 2011. We got through it. I lost about 30 pounds doing that first round of P90X and starting the second round. During that time, I got introduced to Team Engage, met Greg through my coach, Sean North. I got plugged into, one of the best things that ever happened to me was I got plugged into the Team Engage Facebook page. And I feel like I've led a life of service, being in the Marines, being a police officer and things. And when I saw all the good that was being done through Team Beachbody on a proactive level instead of reactive, waiting for somebody to call me to help them, I could be proactive about it, reach out to them and say, hey, these are the products that we have, let me help you get in shape, things like that. I was hooked. So I became an active coach at the end of 2011 and never looked back and partnered with Greg to form, like I said, this incredible team that we have here. And so that's pretty much my story. I probably went over 5 minutes too, so I guess I need to work on that. But that's me in a nutshell. So what else do you want, Greg? You want like struggles?
Struggles, yes.
Personally, from day one, for me, it's been a time management issue. To the point where I'm finally getting into a good groove where I'm using the business activity tracker and really trying to do the best I can with the time that I do have. But I know I'm not perfect by any means, and I stand to improve. But I just want to tell you, I mean, you do the best that you can and you try and build off of that. It's just like your fitness. You're going to have good days and bad days. I told these guys right before I got on the call, I was push and play on Insanity Max only because a call ran over with coach relations and, stuff happens, so you do your best and forget the rest. Right. I think I've heard that once or twice before, but that's my big thing that I'm trying to work on for myself. As far as the team goes, what I would highly recommend, besides all the stuff that Greg said, is please, 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 with a capital P, take advantage of all the training that is out there, guys, because Greg and I didn't have all this stuff when we started. And so, like, when I see some of our coaches posting, and it happened today, I'm not saying any names or anything, but I see one of our coaches posting, go to my page and order something. Here's the link, beachbodycoach.com/whatever. It's like a thorn in my side, only because those are the mistakes that I know I made. I don't know if Greg wants to admit to it or not. He's shaking his head yes, but it's just that's the used car salesman type stuff. But if you don't do the training, you don't know that that's not what you're supposed to be doing. So I mean, I can't fault you for that. If anything, I fault myself for not empowering you guys to get through this training and everything, which is why I highly encourage the new coach training as soon as you get started. But the back office stuff, all the stuff like Greg said with Team Engage, the kickstarts, the free challenge group training, all that stuff, please take advantage of that, because it's only going to make you better. And by making you a better coach and making you a better representative for our team, it's just going to make our team stronger. So that's my one tip for tonight is take advantage. And if you don't know where to start, reach out to your upline, reach out to me and Greg. We can point you in the right direction. So that's it. Thanks for listening.
Awesome. Well, and the funny thing is I remember the day that Mike signed up, because I was talking to his coach on the phone, and he refreshed the page, and he goes, "Oh, I just got a coach." I was like, "Really?" He's like, "Yeah, it's Mike Lamb. I shared some samples with him." So
easiest coach sign up ever.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't even know it was happening.
Yeah.
So. Awesome. Thanks. No, I like the training. We talk about, because we have the elite stronghold and the engaged stuff, and, maybe setting some stuff up we can talk about. I think that might be a good training just the whole time.
Yeah. I'm encouraging all my coaches, with the next round of the Team Engage, the basic kickstart training or whatever it is that's starting. I think it's on the 21st again.
Right.
The newly revamped stuff. I'm going to be going through it. I know Charles Crouch, Justin Cohen, a few other coaches that I've talked to, they're all signed on to do it. It's probably stuff that I've done, but I just want to go through it to be a good representative. And maybe there's stuff in there that I'm not doing that could make me better for you guys and for the people that I coach and everything. So I would recommend if we all want to do it together, that would be a good team building experience. I think it's I think it's a 30-day training, 21, 30 days, something like that. So it starts on September 21st. So if you want to do it, let us know and we'll make sure you get plugged into the group. But I'll be there.
Yeah. No, I think that'd be great. All right. So are we is it Adam's turn? Is that what we're doing now?
I don't know if he's ready. He just finished eating. He was off camera, but he was just.
Let him digest for a minute.
Yeah.
You want a couple of minutes?
Yeah, I don't want to get sick while I'm telling my wife.
All right. Okay. Who's up? I know Sarah is like, oh yeah, I want my turn real bad.
No, not
I can
me.
go.
All right.
Okay, so bear with me here because before we went on vacation, Adam and I had a very big evening chatting about my why because I've never quite nailed it down. So this is the first time I'm talking about it. So bear with me. The easy stuff is talking about growing up. I was always thin and always skinny, just kind of part of my body type. I never worked out, never played sports very much. I was in choir, I was in theater. And then I got to college and kept eating the way that I was eating in high school. And I was also quite homesick. So you can ask Adam. He was a witness to this, that the first couple weeks of college, I was eating pizza, cereal, and drinking chocolate milk because it was just kind of comforting to me. And then I realized I started gaining weight. Who would have thought? And so just kind of started from there, realizing, first of all, that I needed to be eating a little bit better and branching out and trying new things and not eating pizza for every meal because it's something I know I like. Started to go to the gym during my freshman year of college and hated it. I've always been someone who has hated the gym. So when later on in my college career that Adam introduced me to Insanity, I hated it, but I also liked it because I'm very, very competitive. If you guys are familiar with Strengths Quest, it gives you your top 5 strengths, and my number 2 is competition. So being in some type of group fitness class or doing a Beachbody workout pushes me because I'm either competing against the girl next to me who looks about my age, my size, or I'm competing against the fact that, the people on the TV, the people competing on the TV are finishing this workout, so why can't I? So that was kind of what clinched it for me, and I've been a fellow follower, a loyal follower of Beachbody ever since, doing Insanity in college, and then we've done countless workouts since we graduated from college. And just kind of the past couple years or so, as Adam and I have gotten engaged and gotten married and moved out on our own for the first time, I feel like the past year has really made me dive into personal development with getting more involved with Beachbody coaching. Adam joined last summer, but we didn't start actively coaching until about January of this year, and that's when I really started to dive into personal development and realizing there's a lot of things that I needed to face, and that Beachbody was pushing me there. So things along the lines of what I'm realizing now is my why, is that I want to be able to help people who have struggled with self-confidence and doubt and fear, and kind of all of the things that get in your head and make you realize, or make you think that you're not good enough, whether it's you're not good enough to do that workout, or you're not good enough to wear that outfit or talk to someone about Beachbody because they're gonna think you're weird or anything like that. So that's something that I've always struggled with in my life, but it's really come to fruition in the past year or so. And seeing a lot of the Beachbody coaches who also struggle with things like that and anxiety have given me kind of a new lens on it, that realizing that there are other people like that as well, and that it's perfectly normal and that there's ways to cope. And I think it's Laura Mendenhall that always calls her Beachbody workouts her happy pill. And she's a mom of 2 young kids, but she always calls it her happy pill, and that she needs that as part of her daily routine. So I'm realizing that that really applies to me too. That the workouts, when I do a workout, I just feel, another one of my strengths is achiever. So when I get my workout done before I go to work in the morning, I know that no matter what else happens during the day, I've accomplished something. And it just puts me in a better mood. So still trying to refine my elevator why, obviously, but I'm starting to realize that this is kind of the people that I want to be able to talk to and share that, getting into something that, has a bigger purpose than your, regular day-to-day corporate job. Like, I really do enjoy my job, if you know me. But it does, and, it doesn't have much of a purpose beyond the fact that I get, a paycheck every 2 weeks for it. And I enjoy it, but it doesn't have a cause or a purpose for it. And my clients very, very rarely thank me for what I'm doing. Even when I go above and beyond to drop everything and do something for them, they don't realize, and they definitely don't thank me for it. So Beachbody coaching kind of fulfills that part of me. And I think of everyone that wants to be thanked for what they're doing. And even if it's not, someone actually thanking you, seeing someone succeed and posting about their successes in your challenge groups, like, that's a thanks enough to know that without you talking to them about their health and fitness and Beachbody and what programs would work for them, that they would never be feeling the things that they're feeling. It's, they don't have to say the words thank you for you to kind of feel that gratification for, yes, I'm doing this for the right reason, kind of a thing. So I think that's about all I have. I still have to refine it a little bit, but.
No, thank you. That's awesome. That's awesome. So it's and that's what it's about too, getting out and everything. You talked about the insecurities and stuff. And when I say that it helped me emotionally, spiritually, all of that, I will tell you, before Beachbody, and I hope I don't cry during this because it's still really hard for me to share, but before Beachbody, when I was younger, and I kept this in for years, I was actually sexually molested. I couldn't talk about it. I could not share that. But it's the same thing that you said, that self-development, that I knew it was something that was holding me back, and sharing that. And so it's still really, really hard for me to share that. But it's something that I can, and I feel like it has released me. And it really started with Tony Horton going, do your best and forget the rest.
Yeah.
And the same thing as Mike. The only difference, Mike said he did the 2 days and then quit. Well, I had Greg Armfield there going, it gets better the next week. You just have to keep going. So it really is. The team's awesome. So thank you, Morgan. That's awesome. Do you have something that you're struggling with right now?
Oh, I have plenty of things that I'm struggling with. I'm really good at time management, but my doubts and fears have gotten in the way a lot lately. So I'm just not really doing anything consistently. So if I was doing things consistently, I'd rock the time management, but I'm not doing anything consistently. I haven't implemented a power hour, which I know I really, really should do. It's still kind of working through some of the insecurities that I have about starting a conversation with someone on Facebook from scratch, when that's just so not my personality. I'm a bit more introverted, and I definitely have my doubts. So that's my biggest struggle, is still working on coming over that and talking to, at the minimum, 3 new people every day, which is really hard because it's just not me at all. And Adam and I are going to be working to implement the business activity tracker here, because I feel like up until this point, and maybe I'm just speaking for me, but I feel like we've been riding out our warm market for the past 6-7 months or so, that it's just been, I don't want to say easy breezy, but we haven't really had to have that sort of kind of strict tracking in place. But now we're getting to the point where we do have to, because we're getting a lot more no for nows, and we have to keep track of who to follow up with in a couple months and the random people that join our free events and things like that. So I struggle to implement something new when you've already been doing this for over 6 months, and it's kind of like switching things up.
Awesome. Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you. Now, I don't know if you have other ideas. You came up with most of the things that I talked about. So
I did come up with a couple of those, because I was realizing that those are things that I want help with, like perfecting the invitation process. I'm like, I could use help with that.
Yep.
Yeah, I think like something that all of us could use help with is and it comes off of Megan Ewoldson's National Wake Up Call. It's sharing the Beachbody opportunity outside of, getting business builders, which is what we all want to do, rather than just a discount coach who is a coach for a couple months and then drops off.
Mhm.
I think that's something that knows it would be even worth having a call, just sharing struggles and failures, and rather than more of this is a 5-step process on how to do it. But I think that's something that I definitely struggle with, and probably most people struggle with, is sharing the opportunity, either that's proactively or by doing a sneak peek or something like that.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. I am taking notes, so.
I can tell.
Yeah, it's not me going, oh, yeah, I'm chatting with my wife on Facebook. Awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
So, all right. Okay, so are you ready, Sarah?
Yes, I suppose. Sorry, I have a cold, so I sound like a frog. So Greg knows that sharing my story is not something that I do well. Mostly because I come to Beachbody from a place of starvation, not weight loss. So I spent a lot of time from freshman year of college through law school under eating, over exercising, and trying to be under 100 pounds as much as possible, which was not cool. And it was very exhausting and isolating and lonely and miserable. So I got help and became healthy, but I wasn't exercising because I didn't think I could. And then I got married, had an awesome child, and gained more weight than I had ever gained, and could not get rid of it. And so my husband got me T25 for Mother's Day, and it was the first time I could have a manageable workout plan that was like short and better eating. It was the first time since I became like a normal size that I could exercise and follow a regular meal plan. And it was pretty liberating, actually. And I did lose the extra credit, as I like to call it, and found that it was much easier than I expected to make it a regular part of my day. And so I had been telling everybody how much I loved it before I became a coach, and then just decided past winter that I wanted to sign up as a coach. And I had never worked with a coach. I just investigated it and decided to sign up. And I was helping people that I worked with meal plans and routines and stuff like that. I just felt like that would be a good fit. But I also work as an attorney for a nonprofit helping abused and neglected kids. So exercise is kind of important to detach from that. So part of the why, I guess, is for me to help people realize that it is fitness and nutrition is manageable and easy to work into your day. But I don't usually share it that way because I'm still working on that part. But I am getting really good, I think, at talking to people about what I've been doing and why I like doing it. And people are starting to approach me which is different. But I like having conversations with people in person better than doing it on Facebook. I'm not good at that. So that's something that I definitely need to work on too. I'm sure there's lots of things that I am struggling with. The time that I use to work on Beachbody is when most people are sleeping. So I need to figure out if I could squeeze it in my day some other way. What else? I don't know. There's lots of things. They'll probably come to me later.
Awesome. Yeah, and message me if you have ideas and whatnot. We'll post this video, so you can comment to this video when those things come to you. Yeah, so Sarah is one of my, she's kind of I don't know what the right description is, but she signed up without a coach and was assigned to me. So I was like, wow, who's this? And she's not the first person that's been assigned to me as a coach, but she was the first person to come on and go, oh yeah, I've looked at this, I've looked at this, and I've looked at this, and I'm planning to do this. And I was like, oh wow, do you need me for anything? So, but no, so yeah, I'm really excited to have her on the team. She's there in Pittsburgh near Dave Franks and stuff. So I was hoping to try to get you and Dave down to DC to try to fly out there, but it doesn't look like I'm going to make it this fall, even as much prodding as Mike has been doing to get me to come. So yeah, just a little bit. No, but yeah, I think it's really important that we're sharing these things, because we can see that no matter where someone's at, we're all having some struggles, some different struggles that are very similar. It's the Facebook thing. I can tell you, I was a little bit surprised Morgan has a problem with talking to people on Facebook, because she does Facebook and she does such a wonderful job at it. Yeah, and I was like, I'm not real great at Facebook, but I can talk to people like nothing. So yeah, but yeah, so it's really good to hear these and share that. So thank you so much. That's awesome. So do we have someone on the telephone?
Yes, I'm here. Julio.
Hey, Julio.
Hey.
Welcome to the call. So basically today we're just getting to know each other. So
Okay.
we're going to have Adam share, but if he doesn't go over too much, we're going to have you kind of share your story and, just 3 to 5 minutes.
Okay.
Just so we can get to know each other, hear about some of the struggles that we're all having. So Adam, are you ready? Your stomach is full?
I am. I'm feeling satisfied. 2 steak fajitas in the stomach. Ready to go.
Awesome. Well, take it away.
Sure. Well, I guess where I would probably start is, I think about why I do this today and what my main goal is for helping people. And I kind of think the first thing I think back to is when I was in the 4th grade, I remember one time sitting in class and I was getting out of my desk thinking that it was really hard to get out of this desk. And it was partly because I couldn't really fit in the desk in the first place. And I remember kind of thinking at that moment, that was my first moment that I realized, like, wow, I must be fat. I must be big. And surprisingly, I'm a very short guy now. I'm about 5'7", 5'7.5". I can see Greg laughing. You're not short. We're just vertically challenged. But I, kind of from that point on, I think for both 4th and 5th grade, I got made fun of a lot, and I was pretty good at just kind of shoving it under the rug. It's my personality. I'm not really someone who gets fazed too easily, but nevertheless, it really made a real impact on me. I was called all the cruel things that kids call you. Mine was very cleverly Adam. So for about those 2 years in particular, I was definitely by every means or all different means overweight. I think at one point I got a body mass index measurement done because my mom wanted me to, and I was considered right at the obese level. And I still talk to my mom to this day, and she tells me about how hard it was to try to explain to me that I needed to lose weight when I was an 11-year-old and try to do it without hurting my feelings. So she encouraged me to stay in sports and stuff at the time, and that's what I did. I played hockey, I played football when I got to junior high, and that definitely, it helped me significantly. I didn't lose any weight, but at the same time I didn't gain any weight either, and I grew about 5 inches. So, I thinned out, but it didn't really solve the underlying problem, which was the fact that I was eating a lot. Seeing a lot of food. We had one fast food restaurant in my hometown. It was Dairy Queen, the good old Dairy Queen. And my favorite meal, I still remember to this day, and we'd probably go 4 or 5 times a week, was I'd get a medium chicken nuggets with 2 sweet and sour sauces, a small fries, a blue raspberry mellow yellow large, and then I'd get a large Reese's Blizzard at the end of it. And I think of it now, and I'm like, I don't think I could eat half of that, but my 11-year-old self sure could. And so I kind of continued that through high school, and I was working out all the time with practice and stuff, but I was still eating pizzas and stuff for lunch and things like that. And so when I got to college, and even immediately after high school, I kind of had this moment where I'm like, well, now what? I'd probably gained about 10 pounds since I had graduated from high school in probably 30 days. It was alarming how quick it happened. And so I was looking for something to kind of help remedy, myself, and kind of still having that insecure little 5th grade Adam underneath. My brother brought up P90X. He had heard of this workout called P90X. And so with my big brother, I did P90X as a 18-year-old and got through it in the summer, and it was just amazing. It changed my life, and it was something that I kind of used as the core of my fitness for all throughout college up until now. It was, just everything that Tony Horton had to say about just the inspirational quotes that he had, even the Goonie quotes, and just the reality that he didn't care how he was acting in the workouts. He just cared about how far you were going to push yourself, how hard you were going to go. And even when you felt like you were going to quit, to push for 2 or 3 more reps and just get that last bit in. So that's how I started. And then throughout college, I just continued to build on it. P90X was the thing I was using for the first 2 years, but then Insanity had come out, and I'd started doing that a little bit. And then P90X2 came out, and P90X3, but I guess that was after we graduated. But I really used it as the thing to keep me in shape. And I think the whole reason that I continue to do them so much, and maybe this was the wrong reason to do it, but it was the reason for me at the time, was I still just felt that insecurity that I was going to turn back into the kid that I was in the 5th grade when kids were making fun of me. I thought I wouldn't be accepted in college if I was overweight. It didn't help that all of the guys around me were all D2 athletes that were football and wrestlers and just chiseled 8-pack abs, and so I don't think that helped my case either, but it was something that really kind of pushed me forward. And then it wasn't actually until I graduated from college and was kind of figuring out what I want to do with my life. Still figuring that out, by the way. Was that I ran into a really nice Capitol Police officer who also loved the same things I did, and was kind of talking to me about how he thought that I could really help other people and joined in the Beachbody mission. And that's kind of where we started from there. And I had my running mate along with me.
After much coaxing.
After a little bit of coaxing. And we kind of hit the ground running after the wedding and everything, after our wedding. Mm-hmm. And it's kind of been going from there. I got to work on my why a little bit. I kind of feel like the real reason that I do the stuff that I do is still because of that young, insecure me. But I'm not very good at sharing those emotional parts of me because it's just something I've shrugged off my whole life, and feel like I'm going to continue to do so, except for the few moments where I just completely break down, like when watching Still Alice on the plane to Australia. But yeah, that's kind of it for me.
Awesome. I don't think the fifth grade thing something to put off. I think that is a really important thing, because a lot of people have feel that insecurity, whether it's now or it was back in fifth grade. I mean, for you, that was like 15 years ago, though, right? You're still young. So fifth grade was 15 years ago.
15 years ago now. Thank you very much.
You guys are so young. Coming from someone that's closer to 40 than he is 39. So, but no, thank you. What's a challenge for you?
This is in Beachbody, like the Beachbody coaching aspects, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I would actually say my biggest challenge is probably the personal development. It's the personal development. I'm not good at staying consistent with it, and that's probably even a better word to use. It's my consistency. I think that setting up something like the business activity tracker, like Morgan was talking about earlier, is something that we really need to do, because what I've been doing right now is I'll generally be the person who reaches out to most of our people, but I just kind of reach out to the people on the top of my head, and I'll look through the, past messages and stuff. And I don't do a good enough job of keeping a list and keeping things organized and tracking what I'm doing. So something like the business activity tracker, and just having something every day where you're consistently doing this, and this. And so you're not missing anything in the middle. That's my severe struggle right now. And it even goes with things like you guys. I know I kind of get the feeling that if Mike wants a response and he wants it sometime quickly, that he'll message Morgan because he knows that Morgan will respond back consistently, and not Mike's like, nah, that's not true. But I can just be so in and out, and it's hard for me to kind of find that balance.
Awesome. Yeah, I think that gives me some ideas, because I think there's a pretty good consistent thing that I'm seeing amongst all of us when it comes to consistency and accountability type thing. So, yeah, Mike. Awesome. So we're getting close to going over our hours. So, Julio.
Yes, sir.
So it is your turn to share. So basically what we're doing is we're just sharing, we're sharing our stories of 3 to 5 minutes about ourselves. It can be Beachbody related. It can just be you. It can be your story. But if someone came up to you and said, why are you doing the Beachbody thing? What is it that you're doing? And then we're sharing some of our challenges that we're running into personally. So take it away. You have the floor.
All right. Well, the reason I do Beachbody is, I guess it's similar to I started back when I was probably like I think it was like 8 or 9, and it always rings in my head. My mother, she told me that she doesn't want me to be like my brother. And my brother is a very, very big guy. He's about 6'5", probably currently like 400, probably like 400 pounds. And she told me that. And from that point on, you know, because I was growing up and I was always a little chunky, and it always ran in my head, and I never wanted to be obese or be oversized person, because I always looked at my brother. Even though I looked up to my brother, I love my brother to death, but you know, I didn't want to be that person. You know, after my mother told me that, and to this day, it still rings in my head. So even throughout elementary school and high school, junior high school, mostly junior high school, you know, I was teased about my weight. I was teased about, you know, my looks and things like that. And, you know, I once I hit high school is when I started to work out, and I was just like, you know, you said, I never really changed the way I eat. I just worked out, and I was in pretty decent shape. Obviously, puberty hit, and I lost a little bit of weight, but you know, it was something I was passionate about. I loved working out. You know, when I was 18, I joined the Marine Corps, and obviously, fitness is something that's essential. But when I got out the Marine Corps, when it wasn't mandatory to stay in shape, you know, I started to gain weight, and I slacked off. And one day I found out about P90X, which you know, I think a lot of people, that was like their first workout that really, you know, was like, wow, you know, I really want to try something different that's going to you know, change my body and change the way I work out and things like that. So I got P90X, and you know, I started doing it, and it was a really awesome workout program that really changed my mindset when it comes to working out, to really push myself to the limit. It didn't really happen until last year when when Mike, well, he moved into my neighborhood about 3 years ago, but I didn't really talk to him until about last year, March. And, you know, we started talking, and I saw him wearing the P90X shirt, and obviously you wear and share, you know, was something that he used. So, you know, I saw the shirt, and I know I did P90X. He told me how he did P90X, and you know, I was curious about what was going on. And then he had invited me to an event he had at his house, and you know, I was still kind of, you know, curious about it. And I thought about it, and I wanted to try it out. You know, you know, being a coach, and you know, trying to teach people, you know, how to lose weight, because I was always passionate about losing weight, but I never really, you know, kind of got to people. People always knew that I liked working out, but they didn't see me as somebody to give them guidance to lose weight until, you know, I started with Mike, and Mike kind of pushed me, and he was persistent, and I finally made the decision to become a coach. And, you know, I always loved working out, so for me to help people lose weight, it made me even more passionate about it. You know, the fact that I knew a lot of people who went through the same challenges I did, and some people who just didn't have the push or the motivation to lose weight. So, you know, I said, okay, I'm gonna try something different. But you know, I kind of slacked off, especially at the beginning. You know, kind of just like going through the motions. And I guess I could say at the beginning of this year, I really told myself I wanted to, you know, really push myself to be more active when it came to being a coach, and trying to help more people, and not being not just about me, but being focused on other people and helping them to become the best them that they can be. And, you know, if it could help them financially as well, that'd be great. So, I say that since the year started, I've been able to do a lot better with being a coach, and just wanted to really just step out of my comfort zone and not be complacent, and just, doing the same old same, and really being better at being a coach and being a better me, so I can help somebody else be the best them that they can be. So that's pretty much my story.
Awesome. I love to hear that. I still, one of these times I come out to DC because I've missed you twice now. So
yeah, I know.
One of these times.
So,
one of these times I'll catch you though. Just watch it.
Yeah, definitely.
Some short guy's gonna end up at your front door one of these times. So
yeah.
So no, thank you for sharing. And I think what I said to Adam about his 5th grade story, those older stories, and when we're building our lives and stuff, those things stick with us. I can tell you, I've heard 1 or 2 short jokes that still get to me a little bit because I am not tall. I say I'm 5'5", but I round up. So real quick before we go, do you have any challenges that you're running into right now along the coaching side?
I would say it's probably consistency and creativity, honestly.
Okay.
Just trying to be as creative when it comes to when I do post on Facebook, trying to do something a little bit different that's not, the same as everyone else. Trying to do something a little bit different to kind of catch the eye of people because, most people, they probably see one of my posts and just like, oh, okay, whatever. Just really want to really not seem salesy, but authentic at the same time, but also be able to put posts that are going to create value and people are going to really want to find out more about what we do.
Awesome. So I definitely got that noted. Because I am not a creative guy either. I can Anyway, I've just been doing it a long time. So with that being said, thank you everyone for sharing your story. I think that's really important that we do that. With that being said, we want to make sure that when we're talking to someone, even if we're sharing our story, we still want to make the conversation about them. You listen to some of the top coaches, they say the person asking the question is the person that's controlling the conversation. The person that's talking is the one that's losing. So that's why I say 3 to 5 minutes, give your story to really kind of share, but then you can turn it back over to the person you're talking to and let them have the conversation, let them lead it. Because if you can lead them to it, if you can get them to start talking about their why, and then you can just say, I'm here to help you, and we have some things to help you get to your why, it doesn't become salesy. It doesn't become about what we want as coaches. It becomes what they want. We just happen to have a vehicle for them to get there. So thank you. With that, I'm late for my next call. So, and you guys all need to go to bed. It's too late for you guys. So, thank you, everybody. Anything else before we say goodbye? Awesome.
Bye, Greg.
Good night. We just got home too. So,
Yeah.
all right. Well, thank you, everybody. We'll talk on the Facebook page. We got some really good ideas going on, and so we'll talk about that here in 2 weeks. I think if not sooner, we'll have some stuff that I think will be really good for the team. So keep on sharing, everybody. And what do we say? Live noble.
Noble.
Live noble. Thanks, everybody. Have a good night.
Bye, everybody.